Next up on Awesome Toy Reviews, we tour a collector's impressive Ultimate Batman collection.
Awesome Toy Reviews.
For those of you who only have one idea of who Batman is, here is a quick rundown of the history of the character. A little less than a year after Superman made a splash into comics, the Batman made his debut in Detective Comics number 27.
That was in 1939 and was created by Bob Kane.
The character made its first live-action appearance 4 years later in a 1943 movie serial. But it was the introduction of color TV where Batman made a real impact with his campy comic book-inspired capers from 1966 to 1968. All along, Batman continued to be a strong seller of comic books and is generally considered to be the second greatest comic book hero of all time. In the late 1980s, graphic artist Frank Miller breathed new life into this masked crime fighter with his Dark Edge reboot. This brooding nature hit the big screen in 1989 with director Tim Burton's big-budget take on the character. But as the sequels began to be cranked out, the character saw a return to camp and silliness by the fourth installment, Batman and Robin. In 2005, Christopher Nolan rebooted the film franchise with the darkest depiction yet.
Batman has also made a major splash with an animated TV series and multiple console games.
And as the character continues to evolve, he's being seen in additional new movies. So now that we've finished with the Batman 101 initiation, let's go check out the Ultimate Batman Cave. Hi Rob, how's it going?
Oh, hi David, how are you?
I'm good. Oh, sorry. Is it Rob or is it Batman?
It's Rob.
It's Rob.
How you doing?
Good to see you. Thanks for
Good
having
here.
me out. I just wanted to come take a look at your awesome collection here. So that's quite the collection you have.
It's taken me a little while to build it up, so.
First, maybe why don't you tell me why Batman?
You know what, I think and this is such a common excuse, but it's because he doesn't have superpowers. It's because theoretically, if you had enough time and enough money, you could be Batman.
Wow.
So with so much training or whatever else, so I think that's the humanity
So
side of
you
it.
kind of maybe see a little bit of, maybe not so much yourself, or maybe you do see yourself, but you see the idea that it's possible.
It's possible.
It's a very human
Yep.
level, like you
Yep.
said.
Not bitten by a
and
spider,
It's something
didn't
that can
come from
almost be real.
Krypton.
Yeah.
It's just a guy.
Excellent. When did Batman first speak to you?
I was about 5 years old, and that 1966 show was still with tons of reruns, and so I just thought that was amazing. It was in color, it had special effects, it had the coolest car in the world, and so I think that was started the hook of it. But the very first thing was a book that that my mummy bought me, and this is the book.
Okay, awesome.
And it's Batman A to Z, and so I would
Let me just take a
reread
look at
this.
this. Yeah,
You bet.
Yeah.
Over
Let's hold
and
this out here.
and
Okay.
over and over again.
Yeah,
and,
awesome. Well, I can see it's actually got great graphics and great color. I can see how it really spoke to you. You must have spent hours and hours pouring over this.
I did, and on the back, which is a horrible thing for people who collect stuff, but no, I did cut out the mask that's on the back. It looks something like this, and I would drive my tricycle with the mask on as fast as I could up and down the street to try to get that bath towel to billow out like Batman's cape. So,
Awesome. How old were you when your path was starting now that led to your collection today?
definitely by age 10, I had quite a collection of comic books. There was happily a place in Kitchener that sold secondhand comic books, and so riding the bicycle there and getting them for 5 cents was awesome. And so yeah, there'd be a couple of other little, plastic toys or whatever else that I would just hold on to. And so I would say that by my 20s that yes, I had shelves of stuff, and I had big long boxes of comic books. And the coolest thing about it is that it seems to be a contagious thing, that even though people aren't into Batman, they know that I'm so into Batman, and so they will bring me the neatest stuff. And so I've had clients that would come back after a year or so, and it's not about another video contract, it's instead because they found this thing. I don't know what it is, Rob, but I just bet you want it. And
That actually leads to an interesting question, which is you must get a lot of double. People think they're bringing you something special, and you already have 6 of them.
I think the cool thing about China and about merchandising is that people bring me stuff that I can't believe that I missed it somehow.
Oh, okay.
So just this last year, I got this. It's the Val Kilmer Batman, and it's bubble bath. Never seen that before. And so when Aunt Kathy gave it to me for Christmas, I went, wow! And she's thinking, oh, you have 3 of them already. And I really don't.
So you can be surprised.
So I can quite often be surprised with things that I've never seen before. And in other cases, well, maybe now I will keep one in the package and the other one I'll actually play with. So
With all this very large collection, is there something that is your most prized?
there are several, I think, with the nostalgia and being a kid and all this other stuff, but one of the things is a comic book. It's a Batman #2 from 1940. And what makes this one even more special is that it has a 15-cent cover price. So the Overstreet Guide lists this one as being the only one known to exist. So there's lots of other #2s, but they have a 10-cent cover price. This is the one that's...
And that wasn't even known before you acquired
That's
it.
right. I had actually make color photocopies and send them off to Overstreet so that they could authenticate it. And it's special for other reasons too. It's the first time they call the jewel thief the Catwoman, and it's the second appearance of the Joker. But for me, it's special because despite having this collection, that I'm married and I have the most understanding and patient wife going. And so she was the one that actually drove me to the auction where I bought this special book, and I felt sick after buying it. I thought I should have spent that money on a mortgage payment or food or something essential. And she gave me such a wonderful hug and said, are you kidding? If there's anybody in the world that deserves a Batman #2, it's you. So
Wow.
So I picked the right woman.
That is great. That is great. So how many pieces do you believe, I don't know if you even know, it would be roughly in your collection?
And it's funny because only recently, because I heard of a world record set that I started counting them. And so in behind us here, I think I actually got to somewhere like 723. And the bad thing is, but I've got other stuff in my room, and I bought other stuff last weekend, and so it's constantly growing. And this does not include the comic books, which is one of the things, like that book that I showed, that got me hooked in the first place. Yeah.
So how many comics do you believe you have in the comic collection?
I haven't counted all those, but I have cataloged several of them. So right now the number is sitting at about 2,400, and I still have several white boxes to go.
Well, this is really amazing, Rob. I love it, and thank you very much for letting me see your collection.
Well, you're welcome, but do you want to see more of the collection? Do you want to see the Batcave?
You mean there's more?
Oh, there's more.
Well, take me there.
This way.
Okay.
So here is some of the rest of the collection.
Wow, this is amazing. You have this so much more nicely displayed than your other part of your collection. Lovely glass cases, really nice. You don't have to dust anything there, not really anyways. And I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed, Rob. This is excellent, excellent. So I can see there's a lot of objects in here that are, maybe have high commercial appeal, that any kid can maybe find, but you must have some odd pieces that even you're surprised by.
Well, you're right in that I do have the action figures, I've got the Batmobiles, I've got the lunch boxes, but I also have a set of Batman dress shirt button covers. In the case there, I've got a Batman beer stein. I think even the top or whatever else is actually made in Germany, so it's authentic.
That's awesome. Is there anything else that you really enjoy or really, really like?
Well, there's some stuff that's special to me. So in here, I have a little plastic ring that I did wear this ring in kindergarten. Got me into trouble with the teacher because I was so obsessed with Batman. There's my first little husky Batmobile with see how the flame goes out when the wheels turn? It's so cool. And that statue is my first Father's Day present. Just proof again that I found the right woman to support my horrible habit. There's another Batman fan that has a CNC machining place, and so he did the 66 logo in 3D acrylic cut on a computerized cutter. I've yet to put it on the motorcycle. This one's kind of neat. It's a 1940s comic book. What's kind of neat about this one is that you can see underneath Detective Comics there, it says published in Canada. So it was during the war, paper shortages, so they cut back the number of pages. They wouldn't cut a Batman story, of course, but the detective that was sold in Canada was slightly less pages than the one sold in the US. Here's a newspaper strip comic of Batman. This was in the 60s, and it's pretty rare because this is the 1960s one. There were strips in the 40s and in the 80s and 90s, but the 60s one's kind of hard to find. This one's kind of neat because it's Canada Day. It's July 1st, 1967, so on Canada's 100th birthday. Kind of like you, Dave, I love 3D stuff, and so here's a Batman Viewmaster, and currently inside there right now I've got the 1960s Batman TV show Viewmaster slides, and what's neat about it is that in some of the shots you could actually see the light stands or microphones in the TV show. A good friend of mine who owns a comic book store grew up in Germany and so gave me this, and again, for weirdness, I just love it. Superman und Batman, die Zeitschrift mit I think it was a candy bag. Are they action figures? Are they statues? All these guys are unbelievably fully posable. So here's Two-Face, and Two-Face actually has a coin, and the coin actually is good on one side and evil on the other side. It's messed up. And so this guy, Two-Face here, Harvey Dent, is wearing silk socks and tie-up shoes, and he's got a leather belt. And of course, because he's Two-Face, he has two guns. And the guns themselves have incredible detail, that it slides. There's a clip inside the gun with a bullet on the top of it. Who's my favorite Batman villain? It has to be the Joker. And so I have a ton of Joker figures and statues. Here's a Heath Ledger one, and the cards are actually reproductions from the movie, and he's wearing the same clothes, and he did come with knives and lint in his pockets. Like the movie, he comes with the clown mask that he wears at the start of the film. I did go to San Diego Comic-Con one time. I got to shake hands with the guys who designed the Batmobile. I've met Jerry Robinson, the guy who created the Joker. And so when I was at San Diego, I knew I needed something special. So here is a Jack Nicholson, Japanese-produced walking robot. It makes no sense. And have I taken it out, wound it up, and had it walk? Yes, I have. And I totally love the packaging, and again, I think it's just one of the neatest, weirder things that I have. Here's my full-size Batman. He's wearing a cowl from the now-defunct Warner Brothers store. It's a limited edition. He's got Batman gloves from a costume store in Montreal. He's got bat cuffs. This was a special Batman gun that you had to eat Batman cereal and send away to get. And then in the pouches on here, I've got some bat-themed weapons. Who else but me would want something like that? And on the other side, we have razor sharp throwing batarangs. Have I thrown them? Yes, I have. Out of all the Batman movies and TV shows, I think Mask of the Phantasm is one of my favorites. This movie poster was actually signed by Bob Kane, the creator of Batman. Something that I've got recently is this totally cool comic book rack. And so, is this all 3,000 comic books? No, but it's there are some neat ones in here. So, and some of them are Joker covers that I love. Some of them are ones that, like this one that I was reading when I was much younger. And here, for example, is Batman issue number 200. And then 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. There's the car. It's a 1966 Batmobile designed by George Barris and used in the TV show. Have I been beside the actual car? Yes. Have I met George Barris, the guy who designed it? Yes. Do I have a signed RC car like this that I've driven on my driveway? Yes. Batman USB keys, where you take the Joker's or Batman's head off. I have quite a collection of different Batmobiles from the different movies and different TV shows. This one's cool because it came with these back pieces that were later recalled because they thought they were too dangerous. So Lucas gave me this Batmobile where the bat pod pops out of it when you hit the button on the back. There's the light switch panel from my kid's room. It's pretty worn because we used it for quite a number of years, but I just think it was too cool to throw out. There's G.I. Joe, except he's wearing a Batman outfit that was done in the 70s for a Amigo 12-inch guy. I kind of think it's neat that it's on my 66 G.I. Joe. And in behind here, if you wait for it.
Hey, freeze. The heat is on. I'm Batman.
This guy here is a 70s Mego Batmobile. It's again pretty rare, and the Batman and Robin in it are original. So are the Joker and the Riddler and the Penguin. And the car was given to me by someone else, but pieces of this car are made by a guy in New York called Dr. Mego, who does just reproduction pieces for 1970s Mego figures. Like, for example, the Penguin Spats I had to buy in New York from some guy because my Penguin just had stocking feet. But he'll sell everything from replacement umbrellas to the grill to this Batmobile to replacement Batman cowls for Bruce Wayne. They're not cheap, but I mean, man, where else are you going to find that? This is a Batman Easter basket.
Oh, an Easter.
Complete with Batman Easter eggs, because nothing says the death and rebirth of our Savior like a Batman Easter basket. This is a recent acquisition. And of course, he moves. My kids did wear an awful lot of Batman clothes. And there was about 50 Batman figures like this. And one of them had his hand up. And I said, okay, boys, who wants to come home with me? And this is the one that had the hand up. So I took his hand, and then we walked out of Walmart together.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate seeing your own personal Batcave. But tell me, is there like an end? Is there an end to this?
My wife tells me that when I'm hit by the bus, that she's going to put everything on eBay. So that may be the end. But for now, I'm still buying the comic books every month, and I still look for new Batman toys that I don't have.
Okay, so for all of you Batman fans out there, keep your eyes peeled on eBay someday. You never know, you might hit the jackpot.
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same